BFF project aims to create qualitative educational strategies, resources, and activities as a support for adult educators who work with adult learners coping with ADHD in order to improve their learning process, acquisition of knowledge, and development of needed skills and competencies. The main idea of the project has as its base the benefits of neuropedagogy and how these can be transposed into educational strategies and practical resources in order to facilitate both the teaching and the learning process of adults coping with ADHD. The direct target group is focused on adult educators, also adult educational centers, and on the other side, the indirect target group follows adult learners, especially the ones coping with ADHD. Through our project, we aim to create 2 intellectual outputs, which will serve as support for adult educators and adult educational centers in their daily work. We consider that the intellectual outputs are complementary. The first one, online course for adult educators, represents the theoretical part, and the second one, handbook of activities, represents the practical part, which adult educators can directly implement with their learners. The activities of the handbook will be created on the basics of neuropedagogy, and each activity will be designed in order to help adult learners to develop and improve their soft skills needed to integrate in the current fast-changing labor market. Therefore, the handbook will not only serve as support for adult educators to improve their teaching process, but will also benefit the adult learners from several perspectives: better understanding of the topics and development of soft skill. The objectives of our project are the following: to provide educational strategies based on neuropedagogy in order to support adult educators in their work with learners coping with ADHD, to equip adult educators with the needed knowledge, competences, and tools to make use of the benefits of neuropedagogy. To create sustainable educational resources adapted to the real needs of adult educators and adult learners. To foster inclusion and personalized learning into adult educational centers.
Hello everybody, hello and welcome to this new webinar of the brain-friendly forms of education for ADHD learners that we are providing thanks to the European Union support. So actually thanks to the Erasmus Plus program. Today we are going to speak about how to become an eco-friendly and digital educational center. Green and digital are two of the most important keywords of the current European Union strategies for education. Indeed, the European education area promotes both digital and green education. Hence, follow me and let's observe closer this strategy. First of all, let's watch this video presentation.
The European education area is our vision for the future. By 2025, we want everybody in the EU to have access to quality education and training. We are working hard to turn this vision into reality. In the European education area, everybody will have the opportunity to gain the skills they need to succeed in life, to build the future they want the way they want it. Everybody will be able to benefit from the youngest age and all the way into retirement, regardless of their background or learning needs. The best part of our vision is that it is a shared one. We all work together to achieve it. We are investing more than ever and smarter than ever into achieving our vision. And we keep measuring our progress. For example, by 2030, we aim for at least 45% of young people to earn a higher education diploma and for at least 85% of young learners to possess basic reading, maths, science and ICT skills. We know that there is much room for improvement. Tell us what you would change. The European education area is our vision for the future. By 2025, we want everybody in the EU to have access to quality education and training. We are working hard to turn this vision into reality. In the European education area, everybody will have the opportunity to gain the skills they need to succeed in life, to build the future they want the way they want it. Everybody will be able to benefit from the youngest age and all the way into retirement, regardless of their background or learning needs. The best part of our vision is that it is a shared one. We all work together to achieve it. We are investing more than ever and smarter than ever into achieving our vision. And we keep measuring our progress. For example, by 2030, we aim for at least 45% of young people to earn a higher education diploma and for at least 85% of young learners to possess basic reading, maths, science and ICT skills. We know that there is much room for improvement. Tell us what you would change.
And now let's visit the official website of the European education area. So let's go there, about focus topics on top left, and here scrolling this page we will check which are these focus topics. And as for what we are going to speak about today, we have already some key topics here on this page. First of all, on the left we have this title, which means improving quality and equity in education and training. And so, of course, we are speaking about equity. We are going to underline this word equity because, of course, it means a lot also for our project and also, of course, for the target groups of the team. So let's go there about focus topics on top left, and here scroll So now let's go to check the situation in our partner countries, which are Bulgaria, Italy, Poland, Portugal, and Slovenia. But first of all, let's see some of the most common features in all European member states. First of all, we were, of course, speaking of this digital education. And so here we can read some of the most relevant also initiatives that have been taken, that have been implemented by European Union member states, which are all gradually introducing this specific type of education into their school curricula. So here we have, for example, the integration of technology into classroom, incorporating digital education into the national curriculum, and introducing subjects related to ICT and digital skills, with a focus on coding, on computer science, and on digital literacy. Then we have some other specific attention on teachers, which is about providing teachers with training, specific training. In addition, we have this improvement of infrastructure in schools in order to reduce the gap, the digital divide between and among regions, among different areas of the same country, in order to ensure that all students have access to the plenty of digital resources and contents online. Additionally, we can speak of online learning platforms and also of technological tools to enhance the learning experience. Then, as for the green education, we can see here that all European member states have been taking steps to raise awareness about environmental issues and sustainability. And we can read here in these bullet points some of the most relevant initiatives that have been taken or are still being taken. First of all, we have again this integration of specific topics such as environmental topics into the curriculum, introducing subjects related to ecology, environmental science, and sustainability. Then we have a more attention to promote eco-friendly practices, as well as organizing educational campaigns and programs to foster environmental awareness and community involvement, such as cleanups, tree planting, and some other kind of specific initiatives. Sorry. In addition, we can mention the setting of collaborations with specific local or also national and even European international environmental organizations. And finally, we cannot avoid to mention the outdoor education, which is going to be more and more popular and which is introduced more and more in school curricula in all grades. So at this point, let's go to check some country-specific key indicators that we can check with this platform, this common European Union platform, with a lot of relevant data and information, which is called Education and Training Monitor. So let's follow me. So here we are on the page of the Education and Training Monitor from last year, because actually, as you can read now here on this green banner, the next report is going to be launched at the end of November. So actually, this monitor, this Education and Training Monitor, is very important because we have this annual analysis of how education and training systems evolve across the EU, so in every country. So here we have, in fact, this country report. And also in this country report, we can see what is the progress. This is the progress from that each country is making towards achieving the EU level targets. The same targets which were agreed as part of the European Education Area, EEA. So here we are on the page of the Education and Training Monitor from last year, because actually, as you can read now here on this green banner, So we go back here to the map, and then we go to Italy, which is our second country in the list. So we have the national report in English. Key indicator here we don't have data for these low achieving 8th graders in digital skills. And let's see on the left what we have. Actually, we have some slight differences. So we may find our information under this paragraph of school education, where we see that actually we have, in Italy, we have mixed results in terms of basic skills proficiency, with significant differences between regions and types of schools. So actually, with students in the north of the country scoring well above the EU average in reading, and students in the south and islands below, which are below. Let's see also, of course, what was the impact of COVID-19 and what are the plans to recover from this pandemic. So the government has set up a fund to compensate for learning losses and adopted a number of new measures and reforms of the system. Coding and digital teaching were included in teachers' training programs as priorities starting from last year. Computer programming as a subject and integrated into other subjects, and further development of digital skills in primary and secondary education. In Italy, we have this School 4.0 plan called Innovative Schools, New Classrooms and Laboratories, supported by the Recovery and Resilience Plan, to transform 100,000 classrooms into innovative learning environments and to build laboratories for the digital professions of the future in all upper secondary schools. Also, as for the green education, we have this selection of 3,500 projects to improve education in sustainability and biodiversity, to create vegetable and botanical gardens, and to create labs on the green transition. Italy is reforming the initial training and recruitment of teachers, then also in terms of, let's say, improving the competencies of them, and in relation as well to the digital competence. And then here, finally, we have some other, of course, information, including, of course, the challenge and the support to Ukrainian students, and so on. Then, of course, let's say we invite you to read all if you have some other, let's say, interest and some additional interest. Well, finally, last thing that I want to remark is this: the plan acts in synergy with, let's say, some specific, let's say, funds, European funds for wiring school buildings and the digitalization of schools. Let's move finally to the next country, which is Poland. We have then the index on the left, starting with the key indicators that we have on the right. So here we have at least, let's say, yes, this data from 2011 as for the low achieving 8th graders in digital skills. So as we can see, this was 10 points more than the expected target that still has to be achieved until 2030, but no more information. But also, as for Poland, unfortunately, we don't have specific data nor information as for our key topics of today. So we don't have actually specific information on this education and training monitor, nor for green education, nor for digital competence or digital education. But we have some other important, of course, data, inside data as for the current strategies and efforts made by Poland to improve its own school education in terms of inclusion, first of all, to lower disabilities and disparities. Yes, so we have actually a lot of information about that, which is of course somehow also relevant for our project, brain-friendly forms of education. Yeah, but not specifically for this webinar. So anyway, of course, I invite you to check all the paragraphs, also to go to the Annex 1, where we have the key indicator sources, and so on. Well, then let's move to the next country, which is Portugal. And then finally, we also have Slovenia. So we go back to the home page where we have the European Union map. Let's go west to Poland, to Portugal, from Poland. Then key indicators on the right. Here we have instead a more recent data for Portugal, which is actually not very good. It is about actually 33.5%. So let's say a lot of points more than the target. And in this case, what is, let's say, also not very comfortable is that this data is from 2021. Let's go then to check all the other paragraphs. Again, in this case, also we don't have some specific paragraph as for digital education, but let's see what we have in these lines, where the focus is on equity and inclusiveness. Then we have, as you can read here, somehow we have some national plans to reduce these disparities and to foster equity and inclusion. Here it's about actually immigrant or Roma background, which are somehow factors influencing the student performance. Where we have this, let's say, also focus on the COVID-19 pandemic, which of course may have increased educational inequalities among Portuguese students. So the lack of access to digital equipment and enough digital competencies may have limited the participation of students in distance learning activities. To address some of these limitations under the Action Plan for the Digital Transition, so we have a national action plan. In the 2020-21 school year, the government delivered approximately 450,000 computers to schools, mainly benefiting children from low-income households. And then we have some specific boxes. This is for students with visual and hearing impairments, which is actually another key topic that we are addressing under another project, and so on. Finally, let's conclude this country report with Slovenia, the smallest country of our partnership. So here we have again national data as for the low achieving 8th graders in digital skills, but in this case again as for Poland, this is referring to 2011, so 12 years ago, where we have actually 35%, almost 36, so 21 points more than the expected target. And as for this country, we have a focus on digital education, where we can read that young people fare well in digital skills, but Slovenia faces a shortage of highly qualified information and communication technology specialists. Slovenia ranks 11th among the EU member states in the 2022 Digital Economy and Society Index. Teenagers seem to be more confident in the digital skills than young adults. The share of ICT graduates has been gradually increasing in recent years and now accounts for 4% of total graduates. Nevertheless, 69% of companies in Slovenia which tried to recruit ICT specialists in 2021 reported difficulties in filling vacancies. The demand for ICT specialists is high, and the higher education sector struggles with supplying enough graduates with advanced digital skills. Slovenia is investing in digital skills and digital infrastructure for schools. Schools are better equipped and connected than the EU average. However, the problem remains with connectivity in remote areas. Under the country's National Recovery and Resilience Plan, Slovenia is aiming to improve connectivity, permanently deploy at least 40 long-distance optical connections, develop new IT solutions to help digitize the teaching process at all education levels. Digital skills are also expected to be better integrated in curricula at all levels of education. Currently, computer science, Currently, computer science is a compulsory subject only in the first grade of upper secondary general education. It remains an optional subject at other levels. Then we have this lack of mandatory ICT training for teachers. As part of the measures under this recovery plan, Slovenia plans to train 2,000 education professionals and managers, half of the teaching population, so a challenging plan, in digital skills. In addition, 2 years ago, a 2-year project that actually is ending now on digital competencies began in 220 schools to enhance digital schools strategies and peer reflection of teachers. Okay, so and finally we have these other things about this government action which is increasing the digitalization of education. They have in Slovenia this digital education service set up within the Ministry of Education, Science and Sports. Besides organizational questions, it covers educational content which relates to teaching and curricula, education and training, and communities, and so on. The plan envisages the setup of a National Digital Education Coordination Center, which will act as a single contact point for all services and activities at all levels of education. This ANDI which means digitalization of education, and including the Slovenian Digital Education Action Plan, is also the main strategic framework for the continuous professional development of teachers. Then we have this e-content and e-services to support the introduction of new approaches in education, which is a new project adopted last year in May, which aims to facilitate Slovenia's transition to digital education, thanks to the contribution of the European Regional Development Fund, the ERDF. So, with this focus, we are finishing our country report. And now it's quiz time. So please go here. We're going to post the link here in the comments and test your knowledge about the contents, about the topics, about the things that we have been explored during this webinar. Now I'm going to click on the link and I'm going to read loudly all the questions that you are supposed to answer to, and we're going to give you time for that. So here we go. Webinar test. We invite you to write your email address and then to provide your answer to these 15 simple but relevant questions. We're going to have 15 minutes, so like around 1 minute per question. And now let's go to read them all together. Number 1, which is the current European Union strategy that promotes both digital and green education? 4 options: European Education Strategy, European Education Area, European Education and Training Monitor, European Education Action Plan. Then number 2, which are the other focus topics of this current EU strategy? Again, we have 4 options: quality and equity in education and training, teachers, trainers, and school leaders, EEA in the world, all of them. As you can see by your own, after you will provide your answer, you will get the solution. That's why I will not, let's say it here. I will not publish it here. Number 3, which is the current European Union strategy that promotes the digital education? European Digital Education Strategy, European Digital Education Area, European Digital Education and Training Monitor, Digital Education Action Plan. Number 4, is the European Digital Skills Certificate going to be introduced as part of this plan? This plan of the question number 3. Yes or no? Number 5, what are the 2 priorities of this plan? Digital education ecosystem and digital skills and competencies. Digital education platform and digital competencies. Digital education ecosystem and digital skills. Well, now I will slow down. And as a tip, I can say that, of course, you can refer to what we are saying so far. So I suggest you to go to the websites that we are checking together, we are exploring together, and there you will find definitely the correct answer to all these questions. And well, as a tip, I can also add that only one is the correct answer. Number 6. Is the European Digital Education Hub part of this plan? Yes, no. Let's go a bit ahead, but of course then you will have some other time, some more minutes in the end. Number 7. How many self-reflection tools on digital competencies in education were introduced? 1, 2, or 3? In the meantime, I'm solving all the previous questions. And now is number 8. What's the name of the free self-reflection tool for primary and secondary school teachers? 3 options. Selfie for teachers, selfie, selfie for teachers and educators. Small mistake, sorry, in typing. Number 9. What's the name of the European Union community of learners and teachers active on climate change and sustainability issues? Education for Climate Platform, Education for Climate Coalition, Education for Climate Community. Number 10. What's the short name of the European Competence Framework on Sustainability? SustComp, NatureComp, GreenComp, or EcoComp? Of course, I'm not providing the answer as before, but you have your own time. Number 11. What's the short name of the European Digital Competence Framework? DigComp, ICTComp, DigitalComp, TechComp. Number 12. Where can we check and get the most relevant data about education and training situation in European Union member states? Education and Training Stat, Education and Training Platform, Education and Training Monitor, Eurostat. We are almost at the end here. Number 13, which is the European Union target for 2030 related to digital skills? So less than 20%, less than 25%, less than 15%, less than 10%. So we are speaking of one of the European Union key indicators that are part of this, that can be found in this, let's say, website. Just not to give the answer. And this is to be achieved by 2030, as we saw before. Anyway, don't take care of this answer that I'm providing here. Is just something random and also to distract you, but you are, of course, better than me. Hope so. Just joke. So, some extra seconds. Number 14. What's the name of the award released by FEE, the Foundation for Environmental Education, to schools? Green schools, eco schools, environmental schools. And last one, 15. Is digital competence one of the 8 key competencies for lifelong learning? Yes or no? Okay, let's conclude this part and let's go ahead with our webinar. And now it's evaluation time. Please go here. We are going to post the link on the comments and give us your feedback about our webinar. So now we are going to click together on the link and explore and read together all the questions. So this was our webinar about how to become an eco-friendly and digital educational center. I invite you to continue following our activities, which relates to this important and interesting project that, again, it is called Brain-Friendly Forms of Education for ADHD Learners. Thank you and bye-bye.